hello. Haven't I been filming for a minute now, trying to do multiple videos here, and this one especially has been kind of hard for me to get out because it's definitely not what I normally talk about. But basically, I was triggered, and I was just really triggered a lot this week, and so I had to get this out of me. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about this and try to get this as succinct and concise as possible. So, as you know, comedian, actress, etc., Monique, she made some statements about especially Black women wearing bonnets. She basically was saying she's tired of seeing, especially in the airport, Black women with bonnets and pajama pants, house shoes, things of this nature. She also said scarves. So, as you can see, I was triggered. Now, she did make a follow-up statement clarifying some things, but first, before we get into that, she's not the first to do this. We've had a school like 2 years ago who banned parents coming to pick up their kids in bonnets. This is something that's constantly a debate going on in the Black community, and sometimes even outside of the Black community, on how Black women especially should be seen and go out in public. So I just wanted to clarify a few things. I want to officially remove the headscarf from this conversation when we talk about houseware, homeware, right? When we talk about bonnets. So real quick, first up, the scarf is a piece of fashion, unlike the bonnet, which was made solely for hair protection, head protection, kind of like the do-rag. The headscarf, we're also talking about bandanas. These things are fashion pieces with dual purposes. It is a fashion piece that was also made to protect your head and hair. Also other parts of the body as well. As you see with the French, you got the neck scarf with the wee, the bikers with the bandana around their wrist. You can wear a scarf around your waist to give you a nice little waist, a little silhouette in your dress. So the scarf, along with the shawl, which is basically a big old scarf, is made for dual purposes. The shawl keeps you warm. It's also a piece of fashion. Same thing with shoes and a jacket. Shoes protect your feet. It's also a piece of fashion. Jackets keep you warm. It's also a piece of fashion. So we have fashion that has dual purposes, and the headscarf is a piece of that fashion, tied up in many different ways, beautiful different ways. This is just one of them. So the reason why the headscarf sometimes gets thrown into this argument is because one of the dual purposes is head and hair protection, something you wear at night. So what I want here is when someone to see a woman in a headscarf, even though it's so sad, you'll see the headscarf, she'll have her makeup done, earrings, outfit on pop, and someone will still look at her and be like, oh, she doesn't care. Her hair must not be done. Right? Somehow she's being lazy because she's wearing this scarf, which is clearly a look. It's a look, clearly. Well, look requires effort. It's the exact opposite of unkept. So I just wanted to make that clarification on what a headscarf, head wrap, headpiece, headgear actually is. It is a piece of fashion with dual purposes, unlike the bonnet. The bonnet was created, and this is a resurgence of the bonnet. The bonnet's actually been around for quite a long time. Resurgence of the bonnet is made for specifically hair protection. I guess maybe head protection too, but hair protection, just like the shower cap, right? You also have the swimming cap, which is also has morphed into a fashion piece due to swimsuit fashion. Swimsuit fashion, you wear swimsuit outdoors. You have women who protect their hair while they're wearing swimsuits. So now you get the fashion swim wear, swim head wear, swim gear head wear. Okay, so that makes that different from the shower cap or the bonnets. So again, if you see a woman in a scarf, please remove that from you. Monique made a follow-up statement saying she's not talking about the religious headgear. Those of you accusing her of talking about the religious headgear, come on. You're reaching. You know she wasn't talking about hijabs and things of that nature. She also said, I'm also talking about my African women with their African hijabs, which she means African headdresses and things of that nature. And that's where she stopped. So I just wanted to continue that process. So as you know, as part of the African diaspora, I'm a Black American, descendants of enslaved folks on each side, I believe, if not descended from the African Native Americans, the blue-back Indians who were already here before slavery and all that got here, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Either way, as part of the African diaspora, those African headdress, headscarves, hair tie hats, all of those things were passed down through my ancestry and to me. Everything wasn't beat out of us, right? Even on the plantation, we still had our head wrapped up. We still had our little ties, and we still did what we could, even in marriage ceremonies as enslaved people. And again, we're not even talking about the Black Native Americans who were here before that. All right, so so the headgear game, scarf game, head wrap game is a part of Black women. We are the forefront of that. I'm not saying other cultures don't have a head wrap game, but we have been at the forefront of this for centuries. This is part of our fashion, part of our expression. It is now coming thrusted back into the mainstream media through this whole bonnet craze due to designer bonnets, designer shower caps, and all of that nature to sell more. They started making them pretty to sell more. And now seeing that in the Black community, it's like we've decided to push the bonnet in the same space as this kinda, and that's what I want to push back against. Again, this is fashion. The bonnet is functional. The bonnet is being now morphed and tried to made into a piece of fashion. It has never been that. We have had hats, hair tie hats that do look kind of like a bonnet, quite frankly. You've got the basket hats, the hair, like I said, the head tie hats, the Zulu hats, the African turbans, which all of your hair is up in. There's a bunch of African names for it. Can't pronounce it right now, so African turban for now. There's the bouffant scrub hat, which is the bonnet. It's a straight up bonnet, except for the back is open. But they use it for the health industry, for the scrubs and all of that. So we've had all kinds of hats that, quite frankly, do resemble bonnets and bonnet-like. They're bigger. They have the disc in the back, the wide, the UFO shape in the back. Some of them even have the cinched elastic head, but then you'll have a plate. Like I said, there's a hard part disc in the back. Some of them are shaped different. Some of them are open in the back. But we do have a lot of African hats that do resemble bonnets, but they are not bonnets. They are hats. There are also different head ties that, you see the head tie with the twist in the front. It is a type of head tie, head wrap, head dress. They are not bonnets, okay? These are fashion pieces. These are looks. These are expression. And it is a part of our culture as Black American women, as well as African women. It's ours too. It's Afro-Latinas too. It's the island Black women. It's theirs too. It's part of our culture for generations, centuries. This is something we should be at the forefront at. We should be at the forefront of head game scarf culture. So the fact that there are a section of Black women who are kind of fighting to wear the bonnets in public, I see that as, quite frankly, easy, almost a bit lazy. So we're going to transition to what I actually think about the bonnet. Now, ironically enough, traveling, like the airport, cars, whatever, however you're traveling, is the one place where I actually do think you should be able to wear your bonnet in public. I do. And here's why. Our hair costs a lot of money. Y'all know that, right? Whether a lot of money or at the very least a lot of time. I'm fortunate enough to have the talent to be able to do my hair and maintain my hair, which includes wrapping my hair up at night. As you see, a lot of my scarves here are for fashion. Some of them are my scarves that I use to tie up my hair at night. Doesn't matter how long or how much hair I have the ability to wrap all of my hair up in a long, thin scarf. I can do that. A lot of women actually can't. That is a skill. So that's where the bonnet comes in. That's where the resurgence of the bonnet comes in with these big weaves, these big hairs. A lot of women are not able to wrap all that up in a scarf. They don't have that talent. Okay? That's it. It is a talent. That's where the bonnet comes in. So if you're one of those women and you don't have that talent and you're traveling and you want your hair to be fresh, look, this is in the 1950s or 40s or whenever people were actually still dressing up for the airport. People used to dress up for the airport. That's not what it is now. It's less about how you get there. It's about where you're going to, right? And you want to be fresh when you get there. So you don't want to be laying with your head rubbing against the plane seat or the bus seat or the car seat. And when you get up, your stuff's all not fresh. The parts aren't clean and it's frizzy and you paid all that money or spent all that time. No. So that's where the bonnet comes in. I'm not going to tell a woman who doesn't have the ability to wrap up her whole entire head in a scarf who's traveling to risk that hairstyle. Absolutely not. So That is the one place where I do believe, let these women live. Let them wear their bonnets. Where I have an issue is when you're wearing the bonnets everywhere else. You're at the grocery stores, you're at the kids' PTA, and all of that nature. I don't understand the reason for that, because there is a piece of fashion with that dual purpose. Now, and I understand it can be a bit harder as far as time consuming, because some of these wraps are just as easy. It just takes like a couple of minutes instead of the bonnet, which is boom, wham, bam, thank you, man. So, and if you have kids and things, that couple of minutes, that matters. But what I challenge my fellow Black women to do is, we need to be the face of this. Look, I just watched this MTV show called The Challenge last year. There was a white girl from like London. One of her looks just like this in the confessional. And she did it right. We are not finna let them be the face of yet another one of our things. Are you serious? So instead of fighting for the bonnet, we need to be fighting to make sure that this face is the face of the head wrap, of the headscarf, of the headscarf fashion game. That's what we need to be making sure of. Just take a little bit more time. It's a little bit harder, a little bit more time consuming. Do that. There's you don't have to wear the bonnet. That's what this is for. That's what all the hair tie hats for, the basket hats, the Zulu hats that even look like bonnets, but they're hats. All of your hair goes up in it. The African turbans, all of your hair goes up in it if you don't want to have any hair out. We have pieces of fashion with dual purposes for that reason, and we need to be the face of that. It's ours. That's the issue I have with it. For me, it's the easy way out, and it's counterproductive. The bonnet's never going to be at the forefront of fashion. We're not, you know what I mean? The women who are making the bonnets for functional purposes, they're making their money off of it and all of that. That's great. But as far as something that can get our image out there in a positive light, this is one of our things. Let's not let them take it while we're fighting to be the face of the bonnet. The face of the I'm not talented enough, unfortunately, to wrap on my head. The face of I'm just trying to protect my head in between time until I look fresh getting off the plane. The face of for whatever reason, I just didn't today. Now, let's talk about sweatpants and house shoes. It's kind of similar, the same thing. Sweatpants, or not sweatpants, excuse me, pajama pants. As I actually said what I was about to say. Sweatpants are pajama pants made for outside. And tights for me are more comfortable than pajama pants. So you have two choices, tights, shorts. There's more than that. But sweatpants specifically, which are pajama pants made for outside. So there's no reason to wear pajama pants outside. House shoes, same thing. Plenty of house shoes with the super hard soles made to be worn outside. If you want to run your errands and things of that nature, they look like clean little loafers made to be worn outside. Sandals, tennis shoes, sandals with socks, I don't care, be comfortable, made to be worn outside. The thing is, when you, some of us like me, I don't walk around barefoot in my house. I have house shoes right by my bed, or if not, socks. So if you go outside in a bonnet with your pajamas and your house shoes, first, it literally looks like you got up and went outside. There was no transition. There was no caution. There was no care. No care to protect yourself. Protect your feet with proper shoes. Protect your body with proper clothes. There was no care, it seems. No effort, it seems. When the lack of effort tends to seem like a lack of care. So I think that is my initial issue with seeing especially Black women out in public with that entire uniform. It's just like, why did we just get up and walk out? Did we brush our teeth? I mean, we know you didn't shower this morning. Did you shower last night? You didn't shower this morning because you just got from bed and you just walked out. So it's like, what the lack of care, if that's what it is. I've never been embarrassed by it. I don't understand the Black women who are automatically embarrassed by it. For me, it seems like I'm concerned. I'm concerned. I might be sad. I might be disappointed. Why? Because if you see a younger woman, if that woman is with a daughter, a young child or something who has the exact same uniform, then in my head I'm thinking, okay, now she's passed that down to her daughter. What is going on with that woman to where she's not making any sort of transition, not taking any sort of care for herself when she's leaving? When I say taking care, I'm not saying you got to look bam, boom, bam, but I'm saying you're not even putting on protective shoes. That's what I'm saying, right? So what is going on to where now she's passed that down to her daughter? Things like that kind of make me sad. I'm a little disappointed. I'm concerned. Rarely am I embarrassed. The only time I might get embarrassed is if that woman with that uniform has a certain type of attitude. And then I'm not really embarrassed by the uniform. I'm embarrassed by the attitude. And I'm like, that's not, I don't know her. We in the same grocery line. Well, so that's the only time that happens. The attitude got to come with it. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to wrap this up. I challenge Black women who are fighting for their bonnet to fight to be the face of this. Don't let the white girls take this. Are you serious? You fighting to be the face of the bonnet? Okay. The bonnet is easy. White women had bonnets even generations ago. It's easy. We need to be the face of the forefront of the head fashion. Whether it be beanies, hats, whatever it is, scarves. This is what we need to be. We need to be the face of the forefront. The face at the forefront of the headgear fashion, which is something that's deep in our DNA anyway. So that's my thing. I challenge you to take a few more minutes to be the cutest chick with the cutest head wrap on the block. That's all. All right, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please subscribe, like if you haven't already. I know this is different from my channel. And if you've made it through this whole video, thank you so much. But I was so triggered, and I had to get this off my chest. So, talk to me. Take care. Subscribe, like. Bye.